So what would actually happen if you let AI run your life for a full 24 hours? And I don't just mean, asking for a movie recommendation. I mean letting it decide everything. Well, somebody actually did it, and we're going to break down their absolutely chaotic, bot-controlled day.
It sounds like a simple question, right? But think about it. Could you really hand over total control of every meal, every task, every single moment of your free time to an algorithm? Let's find out what that looks like. And here's the kicker. The rules were super strict. This is what makes it so fascinating. You couldn't call a friend for advice. You couldn't ask your family for a second opinion. Nope. Every single decision had to come from a bot. We're talking total AI immersion here.
All right, so let's get into it. How does a day like this even begin? Well, as you can probably guess, it all starts the second that alarm clock goes off.
And the AI's takeover was, well, it was immediate and it was total. No easing into this thing. At 7 a.m., boom, an overly cheerful alarm clock. By 8 a.m., a chatbot's already picked out breakfast. And just an hour later, the entire day is scheduled out, right down to a little meditation session with some AI-generated rain sounds.
Okay, so the start was surprisingly smooth, but you can just feel that sense of suspicion creeping in. The breakfast choice was fine, I guess, but there's this feeling in the air like, okay, when is the chaos going to hit? And trust me, it does.
Okay, so let's move on. What happens when the AI gets a promotion from just scheduling to managing the more complicated stuff, like work and, actual fun?
And this right here is a perfect example of where things start to fall apart. The goal was simple. Understand some study material. That takes context, right? Nuance. But the AI, it just spat out this hilariously robotic summary. I mean, sure, it had all the right keywords, but it completely, totally missed the point.
And this quote just nails that weird feeling. Yeah, the AI technically helped by summarizing the text, but the result was so clunky and unnatural that just trying to figure out what it was saying was a chore. You know that feeling, when you get help that just makes things more confusing? That's what was happening here.
Then we get to entertainment, and the AI just keeps tripping over itself. First, it recommends a YouTube video that the person had already seen 3 times. Okay. Then it suggests a popular game to play, takes over the controls, and, immediately loses. It really shows you the big flaw, right? The AI knows what's trending, but it has no idea what you actually like.
But believe it or not, all of that was just the warm-up act. The whole experiment truly, and I mean truly, went off the rails when it came time for the AI to pick dinner.
Now seriously, just take a second and think about it. If you gave an AI nothing but your search history and told it to order dinner for you, no other input, what do you think would actually show up at your front door? Well, the answer was something nobody could have predicted. It wasn't a safe bet like pizza or a burger. Nope. The AI ordered random fusion food. It's like it just threw a bunch of data points into a blender and hit puree.
And here it is, the punchline. The AI's creative dinner choice wasn't just random, it was spicy, really spicy, something our human guinea pig apparently hates. The final verdict comes in one perfect, painful word: regret. I mean, what a spectacular failure to understand a simple personal preference.
So, okay, after a full day of robotic study guides, losing at video games, and a dinner that can only be described as a disaster, what's the big takeaway? What's the final verdict here?
To top it all off, the day ends with one last, kinda bizarre move from the AI, a custom-generated lullaby to help the person sleep. You can't make this stuff up. A fittingly weird end to a very, very weird day.
This little report card really sums it all up perfectly, doesn't it? The morning routine, overly cheerful, but hey, it worked. Productivity, as we saw, it helped, but it was a total headache. Entertainment, A for effort, I guess. Nice try, robot. And the food choices, one word: regret.
So the final official conclusion from this experiment? The whole experiment was, and I quote, slightly unhinged. It's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's technically possible to do this, but in practice, it's just chaotic, completely unpredictable, and yeah, totally impersonal.
And that brings us right to the final question, and this one's for you. After seeing this whole day of bot-driven chaos, would you do it? Would you be willing to hand over the keys to your life, not just for a day, but for a whole week? Kind of makes you think, doesn't it?